Good morning, everyone. This is Lori Delpredecki with the Nashville Networking Business Luncheons. So we do these 5 times of the month in person all over Middle Tennessee, and then we do them every single Tuesday right here on Zoom. We always have a 10 to 15 minute speaker who talks to us about different tips, tricks, ideas, things that can help us both in our personal as well as our business life to help get us to that next level. After that, we're going to go around the room. Everyone will have 1 minute to give us your name, what you do for a living, and how we can better refer other people to you. And then we are going to share our virtual business cards while we are here on Zoom. So please give your attention and welcome our speaker, Mr. Luis Rivera.
Thanks, Laura. I really appreciate it. Always a pleasure to help you out in any way possible. Thanks for the friendship over the last couple of years. And I know it's late already and you're into the new married life, but congratulations. And I think your hubby's there driving. So congratulations to y'all in the new house. Looks awesome. Well done on that. And so, hello, everyone. My name is Luis Rivera. I retired from the military 2 years ago, served 25 years. I retired as a colonel in 2018. I tell folks I actually served in the military since I was 5 because my dad was in the military too, so I knew nothing but about civilian life until about 2 years ago. Currently, I am a executive leadership coach with Solutions 21, a small company out of Pittsburgh. I personally reside in Clarksville because we service clients throughout the country with leader development for emerging and senior leaders, for strategy development, whether it be new strategies, old strategies, mergers and acquisitions, or complex problem solving. And so today, what I'm going to talk to you about is something near and dear to my heart: personal growth and development. Hey, it's a process, okay? It's a process that takes time. And so I've always been fascinated with leadership and leader development, why I do what I do. And hey, look, the job that I have is not a job. I love doing what I do and adding value to others and impacting lives. But in my time in the military, building and developing leaders and teams and organizations around the world is something I really enjoy doing. And I was thankful that I got to do it for so long. And that's why, I really love what I do now. And so as I continue to grow year after year, I look for new ways to increase my influence. And then recently I've been studying the farming process and its application to personal growth. And so I decided to immerse myself in the topic and learn how amazingly similar growing crops and personal development really are. Okay, you want to grow crops and have a harvest. That's an awesome way to do some. But oh, by the way, you can grow yourself and others, whether they are on your team or around you. The bottom line is it's a process. So I believe in order to thrive as a 21st century leader, you must have a process of personal growth that will enable your future success. So this process that I've learned is akin to the farming process of growing the crops. And the main steps are preparation of the soil, sowing, adding fertilizer, irrigation, and harvesting. Okay, so for the next few minutes, just come along with me on this journey as I build a bridge from the farming process to the self-development process. Okay, so if you're taking notes, here's the first step. It's preparation of the soil. Now, all farmers, in order to have and achieve a harvest in the fall, they must first prepare the soil in the spring. And preparation begins with subsoiling the ground. This process prepares the soil to ensure that the irrigation process is properly penetrates the ground and the crops get the needed watering and nutrients. So as a leader, I must ensure that I'm preparing and cultivating the proper soil, right? The soil, and this begins with preparing my mind. The soil is the mind and the mindset to receive the nutrients of personal growth. I must remove all obstacles and roadblocks and distractions to development. I can attend countless conferences, read endless books, and listen to up-team podcasts, but it will all be a waste if each and every time I don't prepare my mind, aka the soil, for sowing and growing. Okay, so that's the first part, preparation of the soil. Step 2, sowing. Once the farmer's subsoil, the ground is prepared and ready for sowing of the seed of the harvest that they wish to reap in the fall. Now, two important aspects here: the actual sowing and the proper seed. If you don't sow, you won't reap. Well, similarly, if you don't sow the proper seed, you won't get the intended harvest. So in personal development, I must continuously sow the proper seeds of growth if I want to achieve continued success. So do I have personal development plan for the season ahead? Have I completed a personal SWOT analysis to know where I currently stand and where I need to grow? What books am I reading? Are these books geared to the personal development goals I've established? Okay, so first you prepare the soil, then you sow with the proper seed, and the third step is adding fertilizer. Now, the farmer knows that the soil alone is not sufficient enough to grow a plentiful harvest. They understand that they must fertilize the crop. The proper fertilizer and quantities have a tremendous importance to help the growth or the crops grow throughout the harvest season. So, in personal development, who is fertilizing your growth? Who are your coaches and mentors? Have you shared your self-development plan with them? And how are you maximizing each day to fertilize personal growth through the different seasons of life? All right. All right. So far you've got the soil, you've got that proper seed, you've got the fertilizer to nourish that soil. Because, oh, by the way, it's a process that takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. Okay. If you're thinking of success in any realm, and I'm sure all of you know this better than I do in business world, was entrepreneurship, private sector, or whatever, things take time. And sometimes you go through hardships, and sometimes you go through some droughts. So the fourth step is about irrigation. Okay. This step is utilized when water is not readily available to grow the crops. The three main techniques of irrigation that farmers use are flood, drip, and spray irrigation. Each has its pros and cons, but the essential point is when and how much to use. So what does that look like in personal development? Well, there'll be times when you encounter droughts. During these times, you will need a form of irrigation, right, to ensure your personal development is not stalled or stifled. So who are you choosing to surround yourself with? Who are your champions and motivators that can give you that proper irrigation? How much time are you spending to think and learn new techniques? One of the most influential business leaders and developers of our time, John Maxwell, once said, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So be aware of personal development droughts and have your irrigation options available to work through them. Because if not, that growth process will stall. Sometimes it could be detrimental, and it could finish what you're trying to do. Okay, so the last piece here, if you've done all those things and you've stayed the course and you've given it time, now it's time for the harvesting. If a farmer is diligent, consistent, and patient with the preceding steps, then this final one is plentiful. That being said, when it comes time to harvest, several factors come into play in order for farmers to achieve the greatest results. And while there are many tools, experienced farmers will tell you that timing is a personal experience factor. So in personal development, acquiring and utilizing the proper tools is essential when learning something new. The matter of timing relates to when you will apply what you've learned. Many times leaders, they learn and reflect and then do nothing. You will not improve as a leader without applying what you've learned. Learn some more and then reapply it. You can read all the books, you can listen to all the podcasts, but if you don't take action, if those things don't compel you to some action, you're not going to achieve this wonderful, plentiful harvest that you're trying to get after. Okay. So the late business development guru, Zig Ziglar, once said that don't ask for things to be easier. Ask that you were better. Okay. So in these different steps of personal development as a process, are you preparing your soil properly, your mind? How are you doing that? Are you sowing the proper seed? What fertilizer are you adding in your life to your personal development process? How are you irrigating and preparing for those drought moments, those valley moments that you have to get through to have then the plentiful harvest at the end of the required time that you're looking for? How are you growing consistently? And are you applying what you learn to increase your harvest of influence? Okay, those are just some thoughts and ideas of how you can grow personally. And oh, by the way, it should never be an ending process. It just repeats itself again. And you get to start over. If you mess up, okay, learn from it and then repeat it again with your lessons learned applied so that you can continue to and move on to a future success. What are your questions?
Does anybody have any questions? You can unmute your line and ask real quick. He's got a couple minutes left.
Have you read Napoleon Hill? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
Think and Grow Rich, all those.
Yeah, I've always been amazed at how many books spawn from that. You know, Dennis Waitley's The Psychology of Winning, The Secret, all those things. And I think it's real. It's just a matter of your interpretation. So when you're talking about irrigation and preparing yourself, I think that to find like-minded people who also look at these kinds of we used to use the term self-help, but it sounds kind of cliche nowadays. But to look at personal growth as a science and as a project that you manage instead of simply something that may or may not happen based on your experiences in life is a proactive thing. I think it's great that you're doing that, and I think it's super helpful for all of us. And that's one of the reasons why we're in groups like this, because we do care about being around like-minded people who are looking for more information and reminders. We forget so many things. So thank you very much.
No, I appreciate those insights, and you're absolutely right. I mean, it's who you surround yourself with. How are you spurring each other on and compelling each other to action, and sharing ideas, experiences with us. One great book I just finished reading, if you haven't read it, 7 Levels of Communication. Great for you folks in the industries that you're in, whether it's real estate or anything else that needs referrals or requires relationships and referrals. Amazing book by Michael Mayer that's a real easy read and to follow as well. Any other thoughts or questions?
I'll go. To your point, that is such a great, valid point, is that you can't just listen to podcasts all day or read these, self-growth books and expect an outcome if you don't apply it. And I think that that's huge. And it's kind of a wake-up call. I enjoy listening to Rachel Hollis, for example, and I get fired up and pumped up, and I'm like, oh yeah. And I feel like she's kind of my cheerleader sometimes when I listen to her, and I think, oh, I'm going to make all these things happen. So what is your best advice on putting that into practice and following through?
That's a great question. I'm going to put a link to a video that I love listening to. Just do it. Just do it. Don't stop. Don't think too much into it, because you're going to have paralysis by analysis. Mm-hmm. Move out, start doing it, and learn as you go, right? And sometimes that's going to be a little more painful than others, but the best lessons and experiences come from actually doing it, not paralysis by analysis. Because I suffer from that too. I'm a planner. I can plan to the umpteenth degree. I mean, this is the guy that when I took my family to Disney World 15 years ago, I had a sync matrix with times that we're going to go to each park color-coded because my wife wanted to see all the parades. And she was like, you are smoking something there, and I'm not having it. So just do it. I encourage you, just go out and do it. Be around like-minded people that are going to encourage you, move you on, support you, lift you up when you're down. Those are the kind of people you need to surround. If any naysayers around, just get them out of your life. Forget about it. Just get them out. You don't need to mess with people like that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Luis. And if you are watching us live, you can join us each week, every Tuesday, right here on Zoom, as well as in person. We have 5 different meetings each month, all over Middle Tennessee. So you can see our schedule at Nashville Networking Business Luncheon.com. Thanks so much, everyone.